So let's start with the JSON itself. So just now we understood from our example that we sent a request, we got a response for that request as a JSON, right? From that JSON, we have to extract some products, right? So let's say some sample JSON. So if you look at here, this is the request, right? We searched with a term called Apple. When I search with Apple, server responded back with the products related to Apple, which is Apple iCam, and another one is MacBook Pro 13-inch. Right. So what are they doing? They are trying to send the data in the form of JSON. Right. So I'm assuming that everybody of you knows what is a JSON object. If anybody don't know, please try to Google it and try to understand what is JSON object. Right. So at high level, JSON is an object which is a format used to send the data between two different elements like source and destination. Right. We requested something, server responded back us in the form of JSON. Right. So this is how the JSON, sample JSON, right? So the same JSON we are also able to see in our response. Okay, let's assume that this is the JSON. From this JSON, I have to extract all the product names, right? So what is the product name, right? So first one, which is the label. Label is nothing but the product name. Apple iCam. Okay, product URL we have. Okay, something like that. Right? Apple iCam and Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch is also one more product. So two products it is responding. So those two products, what UI people is doing is whenever we search with Apple, right? It is right. So what happens? It is automatically responding back, right? It's responding back to us in the form of auto search. So what are we getting in the auto search? Apple iCam and Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch. Whatever we have in the JSON, same data they are showing in the UI, right? So same data they are showing in the UI, right? So what we are trying to do here as part of our Jmeter validation, usually we will not be having UI. We will be getting the JSON like this. We have to validate the JSON or we have to extract some data from this JSON. But how do we extract the data from this JSON object, right? For that, in Jmeter, we have sampler, JSON sampler, right? Yeah, let's see how we can achieve it. So let me go back to Jmeter. What I will do is, what is the name of this request? Search with input Apple. That means the second sampler. So under this, I don't have anything as of now. I will right click, go to add, go to post processor. Okay, post processor. Why I should take post processor? Right after search request goes to server, server responded back to me with the JSON, and from the JSON I have to extract the product names. So that is the reason I will pick this one, post processor. So post processor, okay, JSON extractor. So I'm going to take this JSON extractor. Okay. Okay, so this is the JSON extractor. How does this JSON extractor looks like? Is like this. Okay, this is a name. So let it be JSON. I don't want it to really bother about the name and comments. Apply to. So what does this mean? Apply to. That means when I hit this request, okay, this is a request. For this request, I got a response. In that response only, I got the body. So from that body only, I have to, I have to collect the names of the products, but not on the subsamples, right? So for this request, we have only main request only. We don't have, subsamples, main sample. This is main samples, no subsamples. But for the landing page, we have main sample, we have subsamples also. There are multiple subsamples and one main sample. So there is a point that they are asking, we have to extract the JSON data from main sample or subsample or main samples and subsamples together or variable something like that. So they are asking. So it's up to us from where we have to take that particular JSON. So just now we really figured out by looking at the results that we have only one sample, which is main sample only. So we don't have any subsamples for this request, right? For this response also. So we will apply this JSON extractor for main sample only, right? But sometimes we may have both main sample and subsample. For example, landing page. So landing page we have main sample and subsample. So we don't know where may JSON comes. At that point of time, we can go with the first option, which is main sample and subsamples. Okay. So yeah, it's up to us. If it is only subsample, just click on subsample. If it is only main sample, click on main. You don't know whether it is a main sample or subsample, then click on subsample. Okay, but as per our analysis, it is a subsample, sorry, main sample. So I have selected main sample over here. Okay, and now what is that exactly I have to extract? I have to extract the name of the product. Okay, Apple iCam or MacBook something. Right, so I'll just give some variable name as product name. This is a variable. Okay, and I have to generate, I have to write some X path, sorry, JSON path. What is JSON